Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Village Playhouse 35th Annual Wisconsin Playwrights Original One Act Play Festival. This should have been done a couple of years ago, but because of COVID, it got delayed. We did do these shows virtually last spring, but now we get the opportunity to do them live for you. So thank you for coming out. My name is Tom Zuehlke. I'm the producer of the show. And this is our kind of new home, and Eric over there in the booth, where I'll shortly be, is the general manager here. Thank you for being such a gracious host to us. You were incredibly helpful, and we appreciate everything that you did for us. And we have one of our playwrights with us today, Marjorie Pagel. Who wrote Friends Are Old Neighbors.
Good Neighbors.
Good Neighbors. This gets confusing after a while. So this is what, about the fifth or sixth show of yours we've done? Sixth. Good. So it's always nice to revisit an old friend's work. So just sit back and relax and enjoy the shows. Thanks.
So, let me see if I've got my brain wrapped around this correctly. It is sort of a bird.
Well, it is a bird.
And yes, it doesn't sing.
In the way that an eagle sings, or a seagull for that matter.
But then, there's also this humming aspect.
See, that's the neat part. Its wings vibrate about 75 times per second, and it creates a disturbance in the air. It lets the bird hover, almost like a helicopter.
Wait a second, what? Oh, for the love of me. Hold on a second. Hello, JC, it's me. I'm upstairs with Luke. Do me a favor and pull the Leonardo file. What's that? November 11th, 1974? Titanic? That's the wrong Leonardo. That's DiCaprio. I need Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci. April 14th, 1452 through May 2nd, 1519. Make a note, can hover in midair in the helicopter section. That's right, hovers in midair. That's news to me too. I don't know for how long yet. Where were we? Oh yes. So, describe it to me. For example, what does this bird look like?
Well, it's rather small.
Like a dove?
Oh, no, much smaller.
Like an even smaller dove?
You know there are other birds besides doves, right?
Hey, remember who you're talking to. I wrote the book on birds. I'm the bird book guy.
No, right. Well, to answer your question, it's 1/3 the size of a goldfinch.
Whoa, that's a lot of moving parts for such a small chassis. Anything else?
A long, razor-thin-like beak.
This is going where I think.
The ability to deliver 100 times more venom than the black widow spider. Widget.
Again, with the venom. Look, I gave you the black widow. I gave you the hornet, the scorpion, the cobra, the Gila monster, and the Komodo dragon. Why does it have to be venom? When does it end?
Hey, give me some credit here. You're also forgetting my excellent inventions of the python, boa constrictor, and the anaconda.
Still, this is starting to sound suspicious, like the pitch you used for a venomous narwhal.
Ah, yes, my narwhal. One with long tusk extending from the left canine, cold-bloodedly stalking its prey through the Arctic water, delivering one fatal yet agonizing.
We're talking about cod and halibut, and the venomous sheep.
Huh. Ah, yes, my sheep. That murderous horde of bovidae, coated in toxic linoleum. living for only one purpose.
Luke, this is why we had to scrap the unicorn project.
Oh, my unicorn. That was my best work. So beautiful. So deadly.
Why can't it be a nice little bird, minding its own business, flitting from flower to flower, humming? A hummingbird.
Ninja?
Wait, excuse me, what?
A ninja bird. It's an assassin bird, right?
Okay, you know you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, right? You can't call it a ninja bird before there are actual ninjas, which, according to the schedule, is about 1500 AD.
Right. And the ninjas will take their name from the bird.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on a second. Hello, Jesus, it's me. So, how far along are we on the feudal Japan? That far. Hey, look, something's come up. We're going to have to put Japan in the parking lot for now. Change gears and get to work on the Bethlehem project. No, the other way. The gold, frankincense, and myrrh. No, I think we need the myrrh. Yes, the myrrh is important. What do you mean, what is it? I'm aware of it. Yes, I know it's Friday. Yes, it is still on the table. Early next week should be fine. What? How many animals? I would say to make it 3 camels, an ox, an ass, and some sheep. That should be fine. Okay, love you too. And say hello to your mother for me and, what's... Oh. And Jesus, don't use any of the sheep we were testing for Luke's last project.
So where are we? Green light?
I love this concept, Luke, I do, but I'm just not in love with it.
You want it to be like every other bird up here. Like all the other birds.
I didn't say that. Now you're putting words into my mouth.
Oh, so I see that the Baltimore Oriole is any different than the black-winged bird?
Luke, the Oriole's wings are orange, and the red-winged blackbirds
I know. Red.
Exactly.
Have you given any more thought to my apple idea?
Look, Luke, you've got to get past this toxicity phase. Taking one bite from an apple and falling asleep for 1,000 years is not really that much different than dying.
See, exactly. We're finally thinking on the same track here. We're getting rid of the toxicity thing. It's gone. It's out the window. The twist with this apple is, with one bite you get,
I'm listening.
knowledge.
You know, that's not bad. I think you've given me something we can work with here.
Yeah, and the kick with this knowledge is, it's knowledge of good and evil.
I love where you're taking me.
Yeah, you see, humans will be able to make decisions for themselves.
It's almost like they had, I don't know, a free will. I should be writing all this stuff down.
Well, before you do, there may be one slight side effect.
How bad can it be?
Well, they are human. Let's just say they don't make the best decisions.
I think we can disregard that. What are the chances? People doing things that aren't ultimately in everyone's best interest? The chances of that must be infinitesimally small, right?
I'm glad you see it that way.
Let's cobble this thing together and smooth out the rust spots later.
I'm glad we're on the same path.
Look,
Yeah.
why don't we put this to bed for the weekend? I'll run a test Gabe in R&D first thing Monday. As I like to say, run up the flagpole and see if anyone salutes it.
Gabe, really? The kid with a face like Cupid was 9 years old?
Well, 9 million, give or take. Why? Do you have a problem with Gabe?
Do I have a problem with Gabe? Ha! Do I have a problem with Gabe? Besides the fact that he can't tell the difference between a rhino and a hippo, even when one bites him on the ass.
Okay. That's on me, I deserve that. I got a little distracted. The original projections had the lines protecting the gazetas. I can't be expected to see and know everything.
And what's with the music? I love mariachi music more than anybody, but I'm just not in love with it.
Okay. This is from my mouth to your ear. Gabe has a treatment that has several bands forming in Britain in the late 50s and early 60s that have 2 and even sometimes 3 trumpet players.
What about singers?
No singers.
Or strings?
No strings.
You know, you might want some percussion.
Get ready to have your loafers knocked off. Xylophones.
I was thinking, drums. What about drums?
A singer with strings and drums. A singer with strings and drums. You know, I love drums. But for now, I'm gonna let Gabe carry the ball on this one. He's pretty confident that when these bands hit America, it will be huge. We're gonna have a revolution in the way people listen to music.
I don't know, I didn't say it right.
What's that?
Nothing, just thinking out loud.
So, I'm going to Sodom and Gomorrah for a few days. I hear it's pretty lively there on weekends. When I get back, we can dot the I's and cross the T's, and then this knowledge of good and evil thing should pretty much play itself out.
Well, there is this one thing. I'm actually meeting with Pandora and Prometheus over at the Olympus Company this afternoon. They want to talk to me about some sort of packaging, something about a box.
A box?
Yes.
Really? A box? Don't get me wrong. I have all the respect in the world for those kids. Their parents and I go way, way back. I was the one who came up with Inside the Box. I'm the Inside the Box guy. I gave up on Inside the Box a long time ago. Started thinking outside the box.
That's pretty catchy.
Luke,
Yeah.
you know I only want what's the best for you. I love you like,
Let me guess, like son, like a brother?
yeah, like that. Like family. We're all like family here. I just don't want to see you make a mistake or get hurt.
Well, I thank you for that, but I really should be going. I'm actually headed to Asgard to have lunch with my friend Loki. He's got some idea for a new project, something about a Venus flytrap.
Venus? You may want to think about a different idea. You know Venus. She's pretty touchy about her brand.
Nothing's written in stone.
Hey, that's not bad. I like that. Written in stone. It's got potential.
I'm glad you see it that way.
You're not mad, are you, Luke?
Me? Mad? No, I'm not mad. I just don't want to give off the impression that I don't appreciate everything that you and everyone else around here has done for me. I just feel like I've hit a ceiling and I'm stifled from a creative standpoint.
Oh, Luke. That hurts. That really hurts. I've been bringing you along, gradually, nurturing you, giving you the benefits of all my experience.
I'm glad you see it that way. I didn't want my decision to adversely affect our relationship, personally or professionally.
Adversely affect? Luke, I'm proud of you. I practically raised you, and here you are, ready to take that next big step. It's exciting.
Yes, it is. It is exciting. I feel like I'm stepping off the curb for the first time and walking across the street by myself.
Well, you know what they say. Watch out for that first step.
And I really should be.
What's the hurry? Lunch will always be there. As a matter of fact, why don't I order us a couple of mineral waters to celebrate? Hello, Jesus, it's me. Listen, send up a couple of LaCroix. On second thought, change them. Change those waters into wine. Loaves and fish? No, don't go into any trouble. Luke's on his way to lunch soon. Thanks. Should be just a few minutes. Now's your chance to smoke them if you got them.
Now that sounds like a good idea.
And Luke,
Yeah.
I just want you to know, you will always be welcome here. Jesus, listen. I need you to check on all the intellectual copyrights on everything that Luke has ever worked on the double. I need it yesterday. It's just an expression. What? I didn't mean for you to substitute the water into wine. I just meant for you to substitute it. That's all. Well, that's up to you, but work on it on your own time, off the clock. Hello, Mikey. It's me. Listen, if you see Luke leaving, you need to stop him. You need to get his keys and his card key for his parking spot. And you better have some of your guardian angels ready, in case he gives you any grief.
I suppose you are most interested in my age. I am nearly 110 years old.
Not until the 19th, honey. I think it's a Thursday.
There is nothing particularly remarkable about me for your newspaper other than my longevity.
You should tell him about your career at the university, Becky, and try to sit up straighter.
Do not ask me my secret for a long life. I don't drink a glass of brandy every day.
I'll let you have a glass of wine every afternoon with your neighbor in one of those tiny old-fashioned wine glasses with an ice cube, no less.
And I don't smoke a daily cigar. I lead a rather ordinary life. I don't like either vegetables or exercise, yet I have managed just fine.
Maybe you're just lucky. Maybe you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Plop!
I do not have a family support system. My husband died when I was 60. Now I scarcely remember him. Bernard is like one of those childhood memories, like the flicker of a strobe light. I'm not sure if it's an actual memory, or if you've just been told it so many times that now it has achieved a life of its own.
I never knew.
His son Tucker was a different matter. I remember him well. He resented me, and seemed to think of imaginative ways to be cruel.
It's hard being a stepkid, hon. My mom remarried after she divorced my dad. My stepdad was a real jerk. I hated him, and he hated me right back.
When my stepson became an adult, he apologized for the way that he had treated me from the time he was a small child.
Teenagers say and do things they don't mean all the time, Betty.
And then he died. I had expected my husband Bernard to die first. He was 20 years my senior. But you expect your children to outlive you.
He was a stepkid.
When I had buried Bernard, I told myself that life goes on. I was determined not to be one of those tragic widows flinging herself on the funeral pyre.
Do you need to use the bathroom, sweetie?
We had made plans to build a new house on a wooded lot. hired an architect, listed our old Victorian, the real estate agent, and then he died.
My husband didn't die, but my life would have been a whole hell of a lot easier if the son of a bitch had. Pardon my French!
The architect told me we could work something out if I had changed my mind as to the real estate, as did the real estate agent. I smiled, thanked them, and pointed out that my husband had died. I did not. Bernard and I had compromised on the design for the house, so I called the architect, invited him over for a cup of coffee, and told him I wanted to rethink the design. Leftover funeral wreaths can be put to a good use.
In our neighborhood, the church ladies made the lunches after the funerals. For a price.
I reinstated the plans. The screened back porch I had wanted overlooking the ravine. The double-sided fireplace between the living and the dining room, and the expansive picture windows that provided an expansive view of our wooded lot.
It's a nice house, but it looks a little dated now, Becky.
House beautiful, a humble pilgrim's progress in the material world.
But you should have no problem finding a buyer for the right price.
I was the youngest daughter in a family of girls. My father a farmer in Iowa, but I did okay. People say that you can take the boy off the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the boy. Well, that is not true for this farm girl. When I left home, I never looked back. Now they're all gone. I have a few distant cousins that I never see. For many years we exchanged Christmas cards, but no more. They've either died or are waiting their turn to die in nursing homes.
Time marches on, honey. You can't stop the clock.
When I no longer had a husband, I had friends who filled the void. One of them was young enough to be my son. He was an excellent escort, a bachelor of the perennial type, a saint. He lavished me with faithful and tender friendship. We traveled together and on occasion to share a hotel room for economy's sake, each chastely clothed in modest pajamas, resolutely clinging to our own beds.
Yeah, right, and I'm the Queen of Sheba.
We had a standing Friday night date for over 40 years, driving to supper clubs out in the country for their fish fries. Often we were joined by other members of the university faculty, and eventually we became a supper club of our own. Oh, we had good times. We were heavy drinkers during those days. Well, everyone was. And a DUI was no more than a slap in the wrist. Well, certainly no one did jail time unless you were the responsible party for an accident where the collision involved a fatality. Our driver drank, drove more slowly than the rest of us, and drove equally slowly, keeping in mind the principle of inertia.
Science wasn't my best subject in school, but wouldn't it nurse you that you sat in the parking lot and didn't go anywhere?
When I retired, I started taking trips to Europe. And my young friend was too nervous for the excitement of traveling abroad. But when he lacked in confidence, I more than made up for with my chutzpah. You meet some interesting men when you travel alone.
I bet you do, darling, but word to the wise, I wouldn't share those experiences with people if you want them to think you're a lady.
My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night, but on my foes. And oh, my friends, it gives a lovely light.
I've known people who burn the candle at both ends. They usually end up in the dark, alone.
Once when I was traveling by myself in Greece, the hotel, I had apparently mishandled my reservation. I found myself alone in a strange city with no place to stay. Luckily, my taxi was still parked in front when the hotel desk clerk apologetically informed me they were completely booked.
No room at the inn. I've heard that story before.
The driver told me that he knew of a clean, safe, and more reasonably priced hotel. I got in the cab, not in the back, but in the front, beside the driver. And he waited while I inquired about a room. When I returned with the good news that I had lodging, paid my fare, and left him a generous tip, He offered to pick me up in the morning and show me the city.
I heard about the goings on in taxi cabs.
Athens is a wonderful city. Oh, for God's sakes. He was a wonderful person. He spoke impeccable English. Oh, he told me he was a poet and drove taxi just to pay the rent.
Right, and I'm a caregiver, and I'm a nuclear physicist who moonlights as a caregiver to pay my grocery bills.
Once on a transcontinental train trip across Canada on my way to Halifax, I sat opposite a courtly gentleman in the car and we struck a conversation. He knew the city well and gave me plenty of recommendations for sightseeing, restaurants, and lodging. I wrote the recommendations down, and when I arrived in Halifax, I followed his recommendations and had a wonderful time.
Another good time was had by all.
Coincidentally, I saw him on the train on my return trip and was able to tell him in person how much I appreciated his recommendations. We had a lovely visit.
What love you could show them your appreciation, honey.
Oh, once an acquaintance of my department in Mexico, on the beach of the Sea of Cortez, let me use it for a week. A lovely vacation. Because he was forbidden by the rules of the complex to sublet, I had to be discreet in my conversations with the residents. Oh, but that was hardly a problem, as I knew no one there. I spent my time walking on the beach and sitting in a chair with a book in my lap, looking out the window at the sea. A lovely, relaxing, contemplative time. One day, midweek during my stay, I came upon a fisherman. He offered me fish and cleaned it on the spot, wrapping it in heavy paper, and then set me off with it. I prepared it for my supper. Filet de poisson touché au wok. Excellent. Every day for the remainder of the stay, he brought me fresh fish fillets.
You meet some interesting men when you travel alone, huh?
One time I received a call from the police department in Albany, New York, verifying my name and acquaintance with a longtime friend of mine. I learned he had passed away from a heart attack, and my name and phone number was the only contact information in his wallet.
This sounds like a CSI story.
I knew his former wife and happened to have his phone number, her phone number. I traveled to Albany to attend the funeral.
He must have been a very good friend, dear.
My next door neighbor became a close friend after his wife passed away. I had always been friends with him and his wife, but he became lonely when he lived alone. I can't remember when we first began our traditional cocktail hour, but every day at 4 he would come over to my house with a cocktail in hand. He'd knock on the door, let him in, and while he waited, I would prepare my glass of wine.
With an ice cube in it, no less.
And we'd sit by the fireplace, looking out my picture windows, the birds in the feeders, the changing landscape outside slowly shifting as the seasons passed. Once, after snow had fallen, I watched from my guest bedroom window as he walked along the paths his visits had made. To see that he made it home safely, of course. He was younger than I, but at that time he was well into his 80s. And he fell in the snow, his eyeball glass rolling away. A tear, I whispered to myself as I watched him struggling to get to his feet. He inched himself over to an evergreen and grabbed the branch and attempted to get up, but it didn't work. I thought, should I dial 911? No. I am going to help. So I walked carefully through the snow. Well, I didn't want to fall. I have fallen on occasion in the kitchen, but I screwed over to the counters and I used drawer pulls to pull myself to my feet. Oh. So I grabbed him by the belt and then the collar of his jacket, took a deep breath, bent my knees, and gave it all of my effort. And fortunately, he was able to get up on his feet. I handed him his highball glass, brushed the snow off him, and then went back to my guest bedroom window to be sure that he made it home safely this time. the miracle was, I felt just fine the next day. I thought I might be too stiff to get out of bed, but I got up, had breakfast, and got on with my day.
You are lucky you didn't break a hip or something. Next time, dial 911 and the professionals take over.
I think I'm ready for my nap now. I certainly have all the information I need to write a newspaper story, but it really needs to be no more than brief notes. As I said earlier, there's nothing remarkable about my life. Let's see, you have my name? Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn. I was an English professor for many years at the university. My dissertation dealt with the poetry of Agnes St. Vincent Millay, and a feminist. What lips my lips have kissed, and where and why I have forgotten, and what arms have lain under my head till morning. The radiance from a ghost tonight, a tap and a sigh upon the glass and listen for the reply. And in my heart there stirs a quiet pain for unremembered lads that not again will turn to me again at midnight for crime. Thus in the winter stands the lonely tree, nor knows what birds have vanished one by one, yet knows its boughs more silent than before. I do not know what loves come and gone. I only know that summer sang in me a little while, but in me sings no more. When you travel alone, you meet a lot of interesting men. Whether or not you choose to sleep with them is nobody's fucking business. But what I will not forget are the indignities to which old age exposes you. Problems with health, incontinence, vision, hearing, balance, and sometimes, if you are lucky, with memory. You are not only treated as a child, but a slow-witted one, and addressed by your first name and with shallow endearments, as if you are a pet dog. In your newspaper story, I will no doubt be Betty, a woman celebrating her 110th birthday, and whose secret to a long life was a string of affairs. I am ready for my nap now.
Dear Bethy, let me help you.
No, I don't need your help. I'm just fine. I would not recommend old age.
Yeah, days are getting shorter now. Won't be long. Leaves will be falling, then the snow. Winter. Oh. Hey, how about them Brewers, huh? Think they'll make it to the World Series this year? Never know. Well, yeah, I remember the Milwaukee Braves. My dad used to take me 2-3 times a summer. Times are different now, though. Oh, yeah. Saw the World Series, too. 1957, that was. Boy, them were the good days. Oh, I suppose I better go in and get some supper started pretty soon. That's the hard part, you know. felt like he's used to having somebody around and do the cooking, and all of a sudden he's on his own. Don't know why I never learned to cook. Thank the good Lord for frozen dinners and the microwave. I don't know how I get by otherwise. You got it lucky, you know. You still got Dorothy looking out for you. Laundry and all that other stuff. Women's work. I know. It's just been 4 months since Marion's been gone. Yeah, sure, I get lonely sometimes. Yeah, I should have got myself a dog. Still could, I guess. Lots of work when they're little, but good company. You remember my Roxy? Yeah, golden retriever. Lived to 13 years old. Then Marion said, no more dogs. They tie us down too much. Nowhere to go now anyway. Grocery store, barber, Walmart, fishing now and then, but I don't get the same satisfaction from that anymore either. And cards, well, yeah, I like a good game of sheep's head, but well, you know how it is now. I mean, Bob's moved to assisted living. Dwight's having all that problems with his kidneys. He's going on dialysis, maybe. So it's hard to get a group together. You never played, did you? No? It's too bad. Well, cribbage, there's a game 2 guys can play, but no. You never learned that neither. Well, that's the way it goes. Get sick of watching TV though, don't you? I mean, I don't have no reason to complain though. Sure, I missed Marion, but house is paid for. I got good neighbors, right, helpful too. I still get around fine. Don't see no doctors if I have to, knock on wood there. Oh, my kids, yeah, good kids. But you know, they got their own lives to lead. And I don't much like driving to Chicago. That's where Amy lives. Well, Greg still got the place up near Cribbets. Nice area, good fishing. But you know, I don't like to drive so far no more. I might take the bus up to Thanksgiving, or the train to Chicago. Though it's no fun traveling by yourself, you know? Mary and I had all these plans to see the world. She'd bring home travel brochures and we'd talk about Italy, or France, Portugal. Sure, I'd say, someday. That was my big mistake. Someday might never come. I still feel bad I let her down about that. I don't want to be, nah. I never cared for that canyon. And since I quit smoking, I can't stand all the smoke in there neither. You know, a fella's got to develop some interest in life when he's young, something that he can carry over during a bad spell like this. Used to like to make things out of wood and cabinets and stuff, but I don't need nothing now, neither do the kids. Suppose I could clean stuff out of the house with a downsizing, they call it. God, I got me a lot of downsizing to do with all the stuff that Marion had. You know, that woman saved and collected way too much stuff. Kids say I should get me a big dump truck to come and just toss everything in there. But the fella used to do that too. All that stuff meant so much to her over the knickknacks and the crocheting and things. Their clothes are still hanging in the closet. Amy said she'll come up one of these weekends and help me sort through it all. Well, it's been nice talking to you, but I gotta get Andy dinner started before the game. Brewers are playing the Cardinals tonight. I guess I'll watch that. Our fellas gotta keep going, that's for sure. Well, you take care now, and you say hi to Dorothy for me, okay? I got you stop by anytime. I got me some good neighbors, that's for sure.